welcome to the Palm Beach Casino for the Party Poker World Open 6. Tonight, our last 8 hopefuls take their seats, all hoping for a piece of that $480,000 prize pool. The winner goes straight through to the final table where only 2 spots are left, and the runner-up gets a second chance for glory in the runners-up heat. We have another incredible lineup for you as well. EPT and WPT champions, WSOP bracelet holders. But before we meet them, let's see what's happened in this year's event so far.
Oh, that hurts. Okay, I'm gonna rebuy. Marty, give me some chips.
De Ahoy, he's on the verge of the final table.
I'm on him. Oh, cool. Cheers, pal.
Feels like a fairy tale story.
Tom Dwan is done for tonight.
Just one more time. One more time. Yes. Victory!
I thought the show was good. Later.
Enough is enough. Miles behind. Duffy makes another televised final.
Well, quick all in from Channing, and he's in trouble.
This entire heat was destiny for Sam Trickett.
As so often happens, the best player risking going out in third.
And again, another final table for Juha Helppi.
Now let me introduce you to the players for this heat of the Party Poker World Open 6. In seat number 1, it's Praz Bansi from England. He's a member of the Hit Squad, and he got his second World Series of Poker bracelet in 2010. In seat number 2, it's Simon Zach from England. In 2006, he came 6th in the UK Open. In seat number 3, it's Fabian Quoss from Germany. In 2009, he was a runner-up for a World Series of Poker bracelet, and he recently final tabled WPT London. And in seat number 4, it's Dixie from the UK. He final tabled the World Open 4, coming 5th. In seat number 5, it's Frank Casella, a very familiar face, a player of the year for the World Series of Poker 2010. He final tabled 3 events and won 2 bracelets. In the next seat here, this is Jake Cody from England. He had an amazing year in 2010 so far. He won EPT Deauville and the WPT London. In seat number 7, Tyron Krost from Australia, 2010 Aussie Millions champion. And finally, in seat number 8, Yvevgeniy Timoshenko, born in the Ukraine, now living in the United States. 2009 was his year. He won the WPT World Championships. And now he's looking for his first big title for 2010. This should be a fantastic heat. Good luck to everyone. Let's get the cards in the air.
Action time at the World Open 6 with the usual mix of young guns and grinders, glittering hardware, and plenty of bracelets. Thrilled to be joined by Mike Sexton. Mike, you look at this table, it's a great mix. Who catches your eye?
Well, you can just start with the last 3 guys in this heat, sitting in 6, 7, and 8. You know, those guys are the young guns, tough as nails. They're the ones I figure are going to be the guys to beat in this heat. Certainly can't count out Praz in seat number 1. With the player of the year at the World Series of Poker last year, Frank Casella. So it's going to be fun to watch it.
3 players into the big blind, and Frank Casella going to peel off the flop.
Quite enough.
Can't blame him. 17,000 out there, cost him 3,000 to call. So he's going to look at the flop. Queen 6-6 is the flop.
Check.
No help to anybody.
Jake Cody thinking about making the C bet, and the dynamics here, Mike. I think he's going to have a little trouble getting this bet through. He does, in fact, have the best hand, but.
Well, Praz suspects a little larceny there, but a couple players sitting behind him. He doesn't have anything. So I think they're all going to give it up to him. And that's exactly the case.
Aggression is key. This youngster has it in spades.
Keep it going.
I'll tell you, when you got 4 players in a pot and the flop comes Queen 6-6 and you only have Ace Jack, you know, you think somebody's probably got something, yet he's still got the heart to fire a bet out there to find out.
Jake Cody can't raise this pot first. He is in the big blind. Others will get a chance to raise him.
Pass.
Yvevgeniy Timoshenko, he's a whale of a player too at such a young age.
Pass.
Passes here. That's around to Fabian Quoss. We saw him make the final table of the WPT London.
Raised 5,000 total.
Well, he was sitting with Jake Cody. Jake Cody was on his left for most of the last day and a lot of the final table. So these guys, Jake Cody confessed to me that he thought Fabian was one of the best players on that final table. So these guys have a bit of history. We saw them ram and jam and everything.
Well, here Dixie and Cody have called Quoss. And what a flop for Jake Cody, but it is going to get him in serious trouble as it's come king, queen, 6.
Check.
Jake Cody has flopped top 2 pair. Quoss has flopped the bottom set. We are going to see fireworks here, Jesse, and Jake Cody thinks he's running so good, and all of a sudden he is going to hit the brick wall
10,000.
right here to go for a ton of chips. And Dixie is called this time with second pair. Not the time to do it. Everybody's got him clobbered.
I mean, Jake Cody could go broke in this pot, and you wouldn't blame him. The only thing that might save him is that they're 150 big blinds deep. I don't know if that'll save him, Mike. And
Nothing is going to save him.
he's
here.
actually supposed to go broke here, in your opinion.
Well, with a possible flush draw and a possible straight draw, he's probably going to raise it here, get re-raised, all the chips will sail in there. It's just a cold deck, as we say. You can't take a chance. Somebody's got 7, 8 of clubs, for example, would make a flush. Maybe a jack 10 might make it straight on you. So he's just going to raise it right here, and he's actually going to hope that Quoss has ace king.
Well, with the re-raise here, likely to get Dixie out of the way. And also,
for sure Dixie's going to be running away, but 0 chance that Cody's going to be going anywhere. He's going to think the guy's got ace king or 2 aces, and that he's got the best hand with the top 2 pair.
quick day for Jake Cody.
It's just a hand that sort of plays itself. Doesn't matter which one of these hands you've got, you're going to continue to raise when it's your turn.
Come on.
And he's gone all in.
Call.
Well, the crying call by Quoss, but he is going to love it when the cards go up in the air.
I got the clips.
As Jake said, I got the clubs, running clubs.
Yes. What junk did you have?
They're a lot worse now. 4 outs for Cody, 3 outs. We saw Dixie Dean fold a queen.
Must catch a king or a queen on the river. Doesn't do it as the deuce of diamonds comes up. So just that quick, a massive pot here at this final table going to Fabian Quoss.
Fabian thinking to himself, well, he got me in the WPT. This is pretty sweet revenge.
It's just a hand that you can't do anything about. Whatever seat you're sitting in, anybody that picked up that hand is going to do the same thing that Cody did there.
It's been a pretty incredible year, to be honest. Started off, I managed to win EPT Deauville back in January, and just last week I managed to win WPT London as well, which was obviously incredible. And it's like, these are major tournaments, and to win them is like amazing and awesome. First started off in I guess how most people start off in a £5 game with my friends, and then escalated. I started playing online, then ended up leaving college because I was doing so well at poker. At the time it didn't feel like a huge risk to me, but to everybody around me, everybody thought I was crazy, especially my parents. Like, they obviously didn't look too kind on it at first, but I'm sure they think differently now, hopefully. To be honest, I just want to keep on winning now and like trying to make a bit of a name for myself in the poker world. I want to win as many titles as I can, I guess.
Welcome back to the Party Poker World Open 6 here at the Palm Beach Casino. We're still 8-handed and action continues, so let's get back to the table.
These World Open heats all have star power, but this one really packed with talent. Jake Cody there may not have long for this young player, but Timoshenko, a lot of people excited to see him. Players who watch the Premier League, a lot of them reckoned that Timoshenko's play on that might have been some of the best sit-and-go play they'd ever seen. And of course, his MTT results speak for themselves. He's played in this event before as well.
And he impressed me from day one when I saw him at the final table of the WPT World Championship. Before that final table TV show, he went out, got himself a haircut, bought himself a suit, I really admired that about the kid.
Yeah.
For wanting to come in looking nice at the final table, and it bode well for him because he won the tournament.
18,000 total.
Well, now this is, you could call this a bit of a light re-raise from Praz Bansi. He's put in the 3-bet. Timoshenko's opening, and you know, Fabian Quoss, we know he's capable of a lot here right now, Mike. He's got the chips to do something if he wants. I mean, if it wasn't Fabian, I'd say he's just winding us up. He's not winding us up. He realizes what's going on. He knows that Praz is a little bit at it. He does not think that Praz has got a premium hand.
He's made it 56,000 to go. Yvevgeniy throwing away the 2 6s.
Yvevgeniy just had a little smile on his face over toward Praz, saying, "Hey, it's not just me you got to worry about. You see, you see."
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Have a little bit of that.
A little rock and roll in there for Fabian, that's for sure. What a terrific play by the chip leader there to take down that pot.
I did have some. Just not 56,000's worth.
You know, these young guys, they just love talking about poker. And they don't mind giving away information because they know it's going to make them better. They eat, they live, they breathe the game. Timoshenko, Quoss, Tyron Krost, Jake Cody. It's like another language. And this is a nice hand for Yvevgeniy.
This kid always calm, cool, and collected. Never whines about a beat, never says much at all. But he is one tough cookie.
He is, and never gives away free information, does he, Mike? I mean, he's not going to show his hand, not going to say, look what I had, look what I folded, that kind of stuff.
No. Not one of those flashy, look at me, big ego kind of guys.
How much is it?
Just a player that gets the job done.
Or in the Teddy Roosevelt school, walk softly, but he carries a big stick.
Boy, does he ever, but
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Zach has picked up a pair of 6s here.
Raised to 16,000. Pass.
Used to be so much better that.
This is the squeeze on the button from Casella.
Yeah.
Just didn't get many runners compared to how.
This is something you expect out of 21-year-olds. You don't expect a middle-aged man like Frank Casella to make these kind of plays, but it gives you a glimpse of why he was the World Series of Poker Player of the Year. When you can make a kind of play like this with just a 10-8.
And respect from Timoshenko, who considered his options. Obviously, he didn't want to call, so it was re-raise or fold. He's chosen this route, but Simon Zach going to peel off a flop.
Well, when you have those smaller middling pairs, you always want to see a flop in hopes that you flop a set where you can bust the guy. And the ace-5-3 comes up. And this is a perfect example of a pre-flop raise and a continuation bet being a powerful tool to take down the pot. Now, as we can see, Zach has 2 6s here. And look at this. This is a surprise here. He's going to lead out and bet 2 6s.
23,000.
Well, to do this, you have to think your opponent has got a pair of 10s or a pair of jacks, something like that. But if you're sitting in Casella's seat, you're saying to yourself, hey, I re-raised this pot before the flop. How can a guy lead out and bet into me? I'm the one supposed to have the aces. And he is raising it. Well, he figured out the puzzle perfectly here. You just know it's peculiar that a guy leads out and bets into a flop that's got an ace on it, because he's going to know that even if he has an ace, he's going to check it, you're going to bet, and then he's going to raise you.
And Simon Zach's been put back in a corner. If he wants to test the waters again, he's going to have to dig down deep, deep, deep.
Well, I don't see that happening.
Age is no barrier, neither are aces. The real hand, Timoshenko, the ace-queen, he was put out the pot. Casella has won a pot there. Who else at the table would have won that?
Well, you talk about earning your pots, Jesse. He earned that one. And as a poker player, you love to see a guy earn pots at the table, meaning winning pots without having the best hand.
Might be prudent for some of the other guys.
Starting
like
to
Daniel,
feel
to just put
like
a bunch
that
of people in.
result in the 25K six match, one of the toughest tournaments of the year. No fluke for Frank Casella.
Well, there's an old school guy making a young school play and taking down the pot because of it.
Yeah. And there's no way that Frank Casella is going to bust his image. He is going to tell the guys he had 3 aces there and hope they swallow it.
All in.
Well, here we go. Some action here. Casella's raised it with an ace-jack. Cody's gone over the top, all in with the king-queen.
Pass.
And I look for Casella to look him up here.
Do you just move all in on my big blind?
Let's see if anybody else is coming in this spot.
Did you? The last hand as well?
Yeah. Give me no wall.
He likes his hand better.
Pass.
I think he's got pocket 10s here. How much is that?
It's 29.
29?
Well, that's exactly what you hope you see when you have the ace-jack. It's going to be even better.
Oh, a little ahead.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. Ace-jack doesn't seem to run good against king-queen usually.
King-queen's pretty hard to lose with.
I know. It's just a good hand, especially against ace-jack. I got to hit an ace right off. And just an ace, like ace, deuce, deuce.
And there comes a flop.
It's not a great flop.
Ace, 4-5, so a bad flop for Jake Cody. Going to have to catch 2 running cards to win this pot. Otherwise, he's going to be the first one out. 7 of diamonds comes off. Jake drawing dead. And Jesse, what a difference a day makes. The last time we saw Jake Cody, he was taking down the WPT event in London. Now he's the first one out at this shootout table.
Well, you know, Mike, Jake Cody won every single pot he played at this table except the 2 times he got dealt the king-queen. That's a lesson for you right there. Cheer up, Jake. You still got the titles.
First out of the table is Jake Cody, and no surprise really when it seems like the cards kind of hated you right from the beginning. What was that hand all about with Fabian?
Yeah, it could have gone better, to be honest. It could have gone a lot better. I won the first few hands, chipped up a little bit, and then Fabian raised, and he actually made the final table, so we've got some history. I flat with king queen after Dixie flats as well, and then I flop. Well, what I thought was the best flop ever. It was king queen 6, but he ended up having pocket 6s, and we ended up getting all in, and so I couldn't get there. It's a bit of a cooler.
Yeah, a bit of a cooler. Yeah, a little bit of a cooler, especially, you know, in the first few hands. And you did try to mount a comeback, but you were so short, it just couldn't happen, right?
Yeah, and king queen again wasn't kind. Ran into a shack, but couldn't get there. It's pretty hard to lose a king queen as well. I'm kind of annoyed. But
well, maybe these are the 2 times you're going to lose with it in the next little while. I know poker doesn't work that way, but we'll think that.
I hope so. I hope
so too. Unfortunate. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, all players at this table breathing a sigh of relief that Jake Cody is gone. I can tell you that. They like the guy, but they're happy to see him gone. Now, Simon's got 2 queens here. Very nice hand. He's going to raise up 6-7, but Dixie, he's got the 2 aces. The best hand possible.
And Simon Zach has just stayed in this tournament, Mike, because little does Dixie know that if he fast plays these pre-flop, the money's just going in. That's just all there is to it.
Well, no question about it.
Now, the money might still go in.
Well, if an ace or a king comes up on the flop, there's a good chance that Simon could get away from the queens. But Yvevgeniy Timoshenko, he saw the first man raise, the second man call.
I'll tell you what, Mike, for a man with good radar, somebody has unplugged his wall socket. This is not the time to be making a squeeze.
Well, Jesse, not in a million years are you going to put the caller on a pair of aces in this spot. So there's no way he could detect 2 aces out of Dixie in this hand. But the good news for him is this is all the money it's going to cost him, because this pot is going to get re-raised, and then both players are going to go all in here. Simon going all in first. He's going to be quickly followed by Dixie, who's not believing what he's seeing here.
It's good news for Timoshenko. It's horrible news for Simon Zach. He caught Timoshenko making a play, but this is indefensible.
Got me, Dixie. Yeah, of course he is.
Well, it's queens versus aces.
Oh, you were making a move.
It took the middleman to make the raise there, but they eventually got all their money in pre-flop. You can't blame them. One's got queens, one's got aces. Simon Zach in dire straits here.
That's what Simon said. You were making a move, and I got caught in the middle. So unfair. And look at this, Mike.
Unbelievable. Had Timoshenko just called pre-flop, he's liable to busted both of them. He's flopped the top 2 pair. He got run out of the pot because he got aggressive before the flop. Unbelievable developments in this hand and how it played out.
And poor Simon Zach thinking to himself, he never would have gone broke with the 2 queens on this board. It's going to be Dixie Dean. Massive double up. Oh, my.
And a 9 comes off. It would have been a full house for Timoshenko, but as it turns out, Dixie is doubled up with 2 aces. Wow. What drama on that hand, Jesse, and how the whole dynamics of this table would have been different had Timoshenko just called that raise pre-flop rather than raised it himself.
Yeah, and Zach's thinking to himself, that's the only way I go broke there, because had Dixie made a 3-bet, he might not have put all his chips in. The only way. That's unfortunate.
Another cooler at the table, and Simon Zach is eliminated in 7th place. 6 players remain. Join us after the break for more action.
Welcome back to the World Open. Down to 6-handed early, and that's actually a good thing. We're going to see some play here.
Tournament director Mad Marty Wilson coming over to muck Fabian's cards. He's getting up to probably take a toilet break or go get a drink at the bar, but play continues when players leave the table. You still have to put your blinds in, and your hand is dead when you're away from the table.
Tyron in the tank here. Frank, he hasn't raised too many pots.
Cool.
And that shows the respect that Tyron gives to Frank's range there, just calling with the king 10.
Yeah, he's got position on him. Wants to see a flop with that hand, so just make the call. You just hate to raise with that kind of hand, and then the guy re-raise you where you're shut out of even seeing the flop, and you've done more money.
11.
12 total.
12.
12,000 total. Well, Praz got a hand you want to see a flop with, too. Plus, you're getting 3-way action. These kind of hands, you like seeing multi-way action because you make more money if you hit your hand. Chances are you got to hit your hand to win the pot. Well, he doesn't. Praz just doesn't want to
raise.
Take a chance on the luck of the cards winning this pot for him. He's going to go ahead and try to earn it by coming over the top here with the Jack-9 of spade. Now, I can assure you, most players from my generation would just call in that spot and look at a flop. They would not re-raise in this spot. But that play could well work right here. There you see Casella going out.
Mike, why try and win a pot later when you can win it right now? And Praz Bansi, you know, that's why he's got 2 bracelets. That's why he made the final table of the World Series of Poker Europe main event last year. He knows when he's got a shot to win, and he grabs it.
Praz Bansi is a pretty well-known face here on the UK poker scene and a big poker talent. Also a World Series of Poker bracelet this year. You're 2nd, so no pressure on you going forward, right, to continue the big results?
No pressure at all. No. Yeah, I just feel like at the moment, kind of like a lot of Brits are doing quite well at the moment, and so you always want to, you know, you never want to sort of rest on what you've done before, and it's kind of good in a way because it kind of motivates you to go on and try and win more titles and win more stuff. Whereas when you're kind of like one of the few people who's winning stuff, then sometimes it can be. That's maybe not a great thing.
What do you think it is? Is it just a little bit of kind of good timing and luck, or is it that fact that people are pushing each other forward?
Like you say, like it could be just a variance thing, and like a few players have come together at the same time and won stuff. But I also think that like there's just a lot sort of higher standard of poker in the UK at the moment than what there was like say 4 or 5 years ago, and the players are coming through. Like a lot of the internet players that were winning online, but no one really knew much about them live. You know, they're coming through and winning stuff. So yeah, it's a really good thing, and it's kind of like putting the UK on the map as well. People in America are starting to sit up and take notice, whereas before they just thought, okay, well, there's a few players that can play, but like we don't have to worry about them. But you know, you can feel that that the UK poker scene's kind of like getting bigger and people are starting to recognise. So that's got to be a good thing.
It's got to be, and we had the Hendon Mob first off, then we had the Hit Squad with you guys as well, and now we've got this new group coming forward, and hopefully it just continues to get better and better. And good luck out there today.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, pocket nines.
Praz, one of those British poker players who straddled the generations. He was a young guy. Now he's a young old guy. The young guys look at him as an old guy, and the old guys look at him as a young guy. Nobody can deny his talent, however. And Quoss with the ace-king. This is like the best hand he's picked up at this table, but you wouldn't know it because his raising frequency off the charts.
Well, it is.
He wouldn't mind action. Come on, Praz, he's thinking.
Well, he's going to get some action here. Praz has got 2 threes. You're up against the chip leader. You got the small pair. It'll cost you another 9,000 to call. It's the kind of hand that if you hit this flop, you could bust your man. What's ironic is when you have a small pair, Jesse, you should be wishing that your opponent has a big pair. You wish that they had aces or kings. But you don't wish it here when you re-raise before the flop because you're liable to get shut out here. It'll be interesting to see what Quoss does now. He's been re-raised to 42,000. And I think he's just going to tap off here and run Bansi out of this pot. With an ace-king in this spot, I'd ship him.
If he makes it like 100 here, then he's going to give Praz the chance to get all his chips in first. Maybe he's trying to make it look like he wants Praz to do that. Maybe he does.
To 93,000 total.
Well, he is re-raising, but not really a big raise. It's just 50,000 or so into a pot that's got nearly 140,000 in it. You're actually inviting your opponent to come in because he's getting almost the right price to do so. In fact, he is getting the right price. You're giving him almost 3-to-1 odds on his money. Tough decision for Praz as to what to do here.
Obviously, if he knew Fabian had the ace-king, or thinks it's unlikely that Fabian has a pair, all in would be the play.
Well, he's going to lay it down, as you said. Just didn't want to jeopardize that many more chips out of his stack to see a flop there.
Nearly. You nearly pushed.
And he would have been called.
Be calling. You know.
I forgot my hand.
You know, once you make it 90,000, you know if you're calling or not.
That's right. If I could only remember my hand.
I know a lot of these aggressive players and young guns like to re-raise with those small pairs in that spot, but boy, oh boy, are you mad at yourself when you shut yourself out of the pot when the guy comes back over the top of you. You've lost more chips and you haven't had a chance to see a flop. So maybe I'm old school, old fashioned, I don't know, but I like to call raises pre-flop with small pairs to see a flop before I commit any more chips.
Dixie Dean, talk of old school. He's raising with the king-jack suited, called by Casella. And this is the spot, or one of the spots, that Tyron has been waiting for, is money in the pot, and he's got a pretty good hand.
I think you have to re-raise here with the 2 jacks, and Tyron doing just that.
Tyron also probably feeling like he's going to get the right kind of information for this money here. Dixie, well, I'd be surprised. I'm sure Tyron will be surprised if Dixie was to make a re-raise with anything that didn't beat 2 jacks.
What you up to?
Well,
not you. Him.
That's
What's he up to?
That's not the look of a happy camper. For some reason, he's worried about Frank Casella more than the raiser.
Well, Mike, he might also be trying to create the story now for when he folds, wants to tell the boys that he folded a big hand. It's not that big a hand. It's a good hand, but it's not great. Yeah, you see.
Well, he is going to pass. I expect Casella to pass as well, but he might not. Yep, Frank going out. So a nice re-raise by Tyron, and we both agree that's the play he's supposed to make in that situation.
Nah, you've opened your legs here. Yeah. You've opened your legs. It's easy now, isn't it? It's too much out there.
Tyron to act here, waning hands of the third level. And, you know, guys there, Tyron and Yvevgeniy, their major accomplishment so far has not been getting knocked out and also protecting what chips they have. Been very little forward progress for either of them.
Well, Tyron going to raise it here with the king queen. 15,000 to go.
Pass.
Now against a guy like Tyron that we've seen play close to the best, do you want to get involved with an ace-9 offsuit here?
Call.
Well, Fabian going to make the call. Now it looks like Dixie could be priced in here with the queen jack. You want to see a flop with this hand? Will he get involved? Cost him 12,000 to make the call, but there's 40,000 out there almost. So he is going to make it.
He can hardly resist.
Could call with almost anything here. Not that.
Frank is right. With over 50,000 in the pot.
And flop me quads, make me
Do anything for love, but he can't do that.
Even though he's getting almost 6-1 on his money, opted to throw away the queen 4, and you don't blame him.
And look at this flop. Meatloaf for Dixie.
Check. Check.
Dixie has flopped top pair. No continuation bet by Tyron. Will Fabian take a stab at this pot after both guys check? Not going to think they're going to have a jack here. So he's going to bet to try to take this pot away. I don't think it's going to work. 27,000 is the bet. But we're going to have a check raise here by Dixie. He's saying, I don't believe you can beat this hand. He didn't raise before the flop, and now all of a sudden you're going to represent some big duke here. Dixie's the kind of guy that just doesn't raise unless he's got the goods. They know it.
Right. He put his iron fist down onto the table. Willed that pot his way.
Those guys. I think that was.
Looks like he could have been an old rugby player for sure.
He's rough and tumble of South London, I think they call it. It's not all tea and crumpets in this town.
I'm willing to take one.
Tyron just lays down the ace-9 suited.
I'm very surprised at that, Mike.
Well, he's playing tighter than anybody at the table. Yvevgeniy as well.
He must not want to put a chip in the pot right now unless he's prepared to back it up with the rest of his stack. And just didn't reckon that was strong enough.
Raise to 20.
Well, Fabian going to make it 20,000 to go here with the ace-2 suited. Dixie's just tired of him raising every time on the button without defending. He's finally made the call with the queen 10 offsuit.
Still the same? Pretty much.
Oh, what a flop for Dixie. He's flopped a full house. Tens full of queens. And he is checked. And unfortunately for him, Fabian does not make the continuation bet.
Boy!
And another queen comes off.
Check.
Well, it's hard to believe you can improve on a flop like that, but Dixie has done it. And again, he's checked.
I mean, by checking there, Mike Dixie's just going for the one street of value on the river.
Well, I don't blame him for checking, but truthfully, there's no reason for Fabian to bet. He's got an ace in his hand. If it's the best hand, it's the best hand. You don't have to bluff with it. If the guy's got jacks, queens, kings, or something like that, made a full house, there's no purpose in betting. If he's got an underpair, you got him beat.
20.
Wow, he checked again. Now,
What's that? Because you don't want to show what you.
Well, he has checked again.
That was a good check on the river by Dixie.
Well, because it's another value bet. Fabian's trying to get in here with the ace high. Looks like he's got the best hand.
Dixie worked this out. He works out that Quoss was checking the ace all the way and was going to bet on the river. That's pretty good.
Well, it is pretty good. Now, the question is, we know he's going to raise. How much do you raise to try to trap this guy? Maybe if you make an overbet
Oh,
here,
I think so.
the guy might think that you're pulling a little dipsy-do on him and call you with the ace high here.
To 70.
Well, he's made it 70,000, so it is a $50,000 raise. And I'll tell you, it's just not that easy of a laydown for Fabian.
He doesn't like it.
First the speech, then the check raise.
Come on. You only bet because you didn't
I would have called
That's
by
right.
now.
Come on in, pass. No more speech, just pass. You didn't want to show your hand, did you? You didn't want to show your hand.
I wanted to call so bad, but no.
Come on in.
With all the
Well, don't
speech.
keep on, just pass.
This is good. This is good.
Well, curiosity may get the best of Fabian here.
He's calling.
Yep, he is going to
He's
make the
calling.
call.
Which one do you want?
Which
Round
one?
two to Dixie Dean.
Which one do you want, he says.
And you know what? Fabian's human.
Should have gone with my speech read.
And I think he actually wrapped Fabian up like a turkey there.
Welcome back. We've lost Jake Cody and Simon Zach, leaving us six-handed here for this heat of the Party Poker World Open 6. Let's get back down to the table.
Dixie Dean all over this table right now. Who would think that one of the veterans, the rock-solid Dixie, leading the way? And those chips might not be so easy to get, Mike. He is a stayer.
Raise to 30.
Here he's going to raise it to 30,000 with the king, queen of spade. And Frank Casella has the same hand, just different suit sitting right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Cassella's got a chance to get all his chips in first, but against what we've seen from Dixie, I mean, you know, he could have something pretty strong here, couldn't he?
Raise.
Well, he is going to raise it.
To 79.
Well, with these two hands, in truth, whoever gets the last bet in is going to win this pot.
Yeah. And Mike Dixie, he's not flop averse. He's got the chips to see a flop. I think he's going to call a flop, and in my mind, that's going to give Casella a massive advantage in this hand.
Cool.
Now, Dixie is going to see a flop here. So let's see what develops. Now, flop comes 8-5-5.
Well, there might be a couple of clubs on this board. For Frank Casella, this hand now, beautiful.
Well, this justifies a continuation bet, even if he wasn't going to make one. Frank Casella, with a flush draw, he's going to go all in. He's going to take it down. So I think he got a break because the clubs came on that flop. Had they not come there with his chip count, he may well just checked it on down and not want to jeopardize any chips. You can't win pots unless you play them, that's for sure.
Half.
Tell you what, when Tyron Krost walks on the sidewalk, he steps over all the cracks. This guy's careful. Maybe Tyron's just...
Well, he's biding his time, that's for sure.
Folded around to the blinds here.
Is he going to let one go?
He could, actually.
You're going to just let one go?
Cool.
I'm not even going to look again.
No raise.
Pixie's saying he's going to play this hand blind. Oh, now that could be worth a raise. Well, they've both got a piece of this, only one of them knows, however.
10.
I call in the dark.
It's like a cash game.
Cool.
I want to make him show what he's called with.
if his plan is to confuse Fabian, I think he's done a good job.
Ooh, it's getting worse.
Now the 9 of diamonds comes up. That's a card neither player likes to see.
Well, Dixie doesn't know what he wants here.
Check.
I bet 10 in the dark.
No.
10.
I think Fabian is. What is going on? He's saying to himself.
Cool.
That is strong.
Some people would have raised there.
Check.
Surely it's time to look.
Well, Fabian is checked. And the jig might be up for Dixie. What can he beat here but possibly a 4-5? Something like that. He says one pair.
You win. Got that? Worst hand in the package, Colby.
It was suited.
Oh, it was shooting.
Well, he fulfilled his aim there. Got to see Fabian's hand, but these two are due to play a big pot. Mark my words.
Well, Dixie doesn't mind mixing it up in a high-stake cash game once in a while.
No.
So certainly not afraid of these boys here.
Come on, Tyrone. What are you waiting for? It's down to 20 big blinds.
Yeah, we're waiting for something better than that. Probably something like Tamashenko's got here. Big slick. He's got the ace-king. He's making sure he's got it.
He did. Squeeze those 4 times.
Well, see if he bets 22,000 again. Yep, even when he's got big hands, doesn't matter. Same bet. He's got a system.
It's imperturbable. You can't get any kind of read on it. And Bansi's in big trouble here, Mike, because this is a cooler in this spot, isn't it?
Well, you know, he doesn't have that many chips. He's finally picked up a hand. The guy on the buttons raised it.
It's Timoshenko. I think he's going all in.
Raise.
Well, he is going to raise. 48,000 is the bet. So he's left himself just enough if Timoshenko goes all in that he could get away from this hand. And if I was Timoshenko, I would ship it right here. Timoshenko's got him covered, but not by much. And I'll be shocked if he doesn't ship it in here. And quite frankly, disappointed.
I'm all in.
Well, he does go all in.
Wow.
And now, Praz Bansi faced with a very, very tough decision as to what to do.
What you think? It's pretty sick if you've got a real hand on the button after raising like.
Well, if you have an ace in your hand,
this level.
You're never but about a 2-to-1 underdog, no matter what your opponent has. That's the price Bansi is getting here, but still.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
there's several hands Timoshenko could have had there that he still Bansi was racing against.
Massive.
I thought he raised enough he might could get away from the hand, but he felt like he had to go with it. Now he's got to get lucky to win it. Let's see if he can.
Bracelet this year at the World Series of Poker for Bansi. 3rd last year, World Series of Poker Europe. Oh!
It's come ace, king, 10. Both players have flopped 2 pair. Timoshenko, very happy to see this. Bansi's going to have to catch a 10 to win the pot. They would split it if a jack and a queen came up.
Sick the way that got spread. You saw the ace 10. The king was hiding like a snow fort.
Well, 5 comes off.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
9 comes off. Timoshenko ends up making a flush to win the pot, but doesn't matter. His aces and kings were good enough to get the job done.
Good luck, man.
And it was just one of those hands that was a real borderline situation. Do you go with it or don't you? He was getting about 2-to-1 odds on his money, getting about the right price. But still, you just hate to go out of a tournament when your opponent dominates you like that.
We've lost Praz Bansi off the table. It just didn't seem to go your way today. You weren't really feeling it out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I played a few pots early on, that like I 3-bet a few hands and it didn't work out. And then I just thought I'd kind of play tight and wait for a semi-hand and try and play for value instead. I 3-bet the small blind with ace-10 offsuit, and it's not a great hand, but the thing is, like, Yevgeniy's a pretty good player, and he moved in, and like I could have thrown it away, but I just thought he's a good enough player to do that with hands that I'm beating as well. Yeah. And like, when the hands get turned over, like it doesn't look great, but that's just the way it is.
Just 5 in the running now, and Quoss looking very strong. Dixie's mixing it up, as is Timoshenko. Krost has jet lag, I think, and right now he's down under.
It's been another action-packed heat here at the World Open 6, and there is still plenty more to come. Join us next time when we find out which player will win his seat through to the final and be in with a chance of winning part of that $480,000 prize pool here at the Palm Beach Casino.
Come on, England.
I haven't done a lot of that. Wow.
Oh dear.
I thought you were betting the river for sure.
50-50.
On a show? Show deuce or something?
I'm winning with a pair.